All right, traders, it's been a crazy week. We got a lot of important updates to go over. First things first, we're going to be going over the SPY. As you guys know, I've been expecting the SPY for the micro to fill that gap from 457.37. Today is the day where it did end up filling the gap. We have the CPI report, the CPI report coming out early tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting to see how the SPY reacts overall. But yeah, we're going to be covering, what to look for in terms of the in-depth price action analysis for the SPY, along with a couple top stocks that I'm going to be watching for heading into the morning tomorrow. So let's get right into that price action analysis. So guys, in terms of the SPY. So in terms of the SPY, what I want you to mainly understand and mainly focus heading into the micro price action is going to be this key level right here. So, as you know, ever since SPY had this breakout and ever since it turned this 444 resistance into support, I've been overall expecting it to have a micro run to fill this gap at 457.35, which it did end up filling today. Now, with that being said, what I want you to understand is if this key 437.35 reacts as a resistance level and the bears step in for the micro and it's struggling and it's turning into strong resistance, I want you to understand for the micro, SPY is going to be destined and headed back to $450.94. Once it hits $450.94, if that reacts as a support level, SPY is still going to be bullish for the micro and it's going to be on track overall within some time to retest 457 and overall, break out past 457 and then eventually fill this gap at 464.72. Now, if SPY just breaks out past this 457.35 level and turns into support, it's going to quickly run to fill this gap at 464.72. So in terms of buying opportunities, let's discuss buying opportunities. If you were interested in buying call options on the SPY, what I would do is from here, I would wait for the overall dip buying opportunity. I do believe there's going to be a potential overall dip buying opportunity with the CPI report if we do see a negative reaction and if it struggles to, break above this 457.35 resistance level, we're going to see a pullback to this 451 gap fill level, right? So that can be an opportunity to buy a put if you see it struggling at this key resistance level tomorrow. In terms of buying, if you see it reacting as support, a nice bounce is coming in, some strong volume is coming in, you're going to see it bounce overall at 451 and then back to 457. Now, in terms of best resistance levels to short, say you wanted to short at 457 key breakdown, the best overall level would be at 464.72, where this gap is waiting to fill above. So what I just want you to understand about the SPY, just wait for the CPI report to come out, wait for the overall reaction, and then from there, if this key level right here, 457.35 reacts as a resistance, it starts breaking down, you're going to want to ride a put for the short term, ride this back down to fill the gap below at 451. If you see 451 react as a support level, you're going to want to ride calls for the micro. If you see 457 breakout, that's going to be an opportunity to buy the breakout. Honestly, I would stay away from that opportunity to buy the breakout, but it should be able to run back to 464.72 if it reacts as strong support and breaks out. In terms of put opportunity, like I said, 464.72 would be the best key resistance level to wait for on the SPY. So overall, we got to wait to see how things react in terms of this CPI report that's coming out tomorrow morning. But just to understand, in terms of the daily chart, this is a bullish daily chart, and we could see something like this tomorrow. See how it has this nice gap up right here. See how it has this nice gap up right here. And then the next day, what does it do? Nice green bar. And then overall, it forms a price channel, tops out in downtrends. So best case scenarios for the bulls, in my opinion, is they get a run to 464.72. And then from there, it's downhill for the micro to fill this gap at 451. But overall, in terms of the price action, I just want you to understand this is the key level. 457.35. Make it or break it. If it turns into support, it pushes for the gap fill at 464.72, which is the best price to buy puts. If it breaks down, below 457.70, 457.35, around that range, it fills the gap at 451, and then for a micro bull run, 451 needs to hold. So that's what I need you to understand about this buy. Key levels, like I said, just gonna say it one more time. 457.35 reacts as support, breaks out, fills the gap at 464.72. Once this gap fills, I strongly believe we're going to see a micro reversal, great opportunity to grab puts. Say we have a fake out, or say it breaks down below this 457 level, it's going to be on track to fill this gap at 452. If 452 reacts to support this gap fill level right here, at 451, then it's going to have a nice little gap close reversal to buy call options. So overall, what I'm telling you is the best price and the best way to kind of play this is puts right here for the micro, 464.72, quick scalp on the puts. And then in terms of the calls, if you see it bounce off of 451, ride the calls. So calls here, puts there, very, very simple stuff. So that's kind of the overall price action analysis on the SPY and what you need to understand. It's at make it or break it key resistance level. The daily chart is bullish, but we need to see how it reacts after the CPI report. So that's my thoughts. That's my analysis in terms of the SPY. Now, in terms of other stocks that I'm keeping an eye on, Snapchat is currently bullish. It looks like Snapchat is going to be able to fill this gap at 42.73. If you see it struggling, reacting as resistance at 42.73, then you're going to want to grab a put opportunity towards that key level, ride it back down to about $39. In terms of other opportunities that I'm seeing, so like I said, I'm going through these stocks, straight off the dome, straight off the key price action analysis as I'm reading the chart. If I'm not commentating on a stock, that means I'm not interested in it for the micro price action. Tesla is consistently failing to break out at this key 944 level, but it is trying to break out. Overall, I would just avoid it for the most part. If it fails to break out at 944, this is just destined to go back to 845. It's really dependent on SPY. As for BBIG has turned bullish for the micro. What you need to understand is right now in terms of BBIG, it is setting up for a squeeze. If it continues to hold above this 340 level, it is going to be on track to fill this gap. There's a gap to fill at $4.53. There's also a gap to fill at $3.93. If $3.40 remains as a support level, and if we can get a break above $3.63, it's going to fill this gap at $3.93. If that reacts as resistance, it goes back to 360 to 340. If that reacts as support and breaks out, it goes back to 453, which would be the best price level to potentially short BBIG. As of now, the bulls have gained control for the micro price action on BBIG, and this is a very strong daily candle setting up with a squeeze where we can potentially see a continuation in BBIG, especially if it can break out and turn this 360 into a support level. So keep an eye out for the micro on BBIG. As of now, it is currently downtrending in after hours, and it's going to have a lot to do with the overall markets as well if that downtrends and has a fake out towards SPY 457 breakdown. In terms of Affirm, a lot of you guys have been asking me about Affirm stock. This is fairly bullish for the micro. I don't have much of an opinion on it. It looks like it's going to be on track to hit about $80. I would just avoid it for now. I'm not really interested in that one. In terms of Peloton, not really interested in that one as well. Price action is overall choppy. In terms of PROG managed to turn the key gap, the level right here at 169 into support. It ended up turning that into support this morning. As you can see, it bottomed at 179, turning that into heavy support, which is extremely bullish. So in terms of PROG, for this to continue to run, it needs to turn $2 into support. It's make it or break it for the stock. If it can't turn $2 into support, it's going to be on track to break down overall. In terms of other stocks, let's see. So for Facebook needs to mainly stay above 233. 233 is the key level. If it breaks down below that, it's going to be on track for 227. If it breaks out above 233, then it's a breakout for overall 240. Right now, my main focus is just, mainly for the SPY, for the micro. That's the main play, the main opportunity that I'm seeing. I'm going to double check here real quick on my phone. I had a couple stocks on my radar. Let me just double check this here real quick. But like I said, the main play is going to be this whole SPY micro opportunity. So yeah, that's going to be the main play. And also one more stock that I wanted to review, is going to be Spotify. So in terms of Spotify, this can potentially have a breakout. So Spotify, it's down right now in after hours. What I want you to focus on in terms of Spotify, and just wait. If it doesn't come now, then wait later on. Set a price alert for above 176. Once Spotify gets above 176, this is going to have a gap breakout, and it's going to start to fill this gap from 191. We should see an overall run to about 180, 183, 184, around that range. So just wait for the breakout on Spotify. Once you see a break above this key 176, it reacts and turns into support, it's going to be a bullish buy the breakout opportunity. So just wait on that. As of now, I wouldn't do anything in terms of the put side. I would just wait for the breakout opportunity on Spotify for that price alert to trigger. Once that triggers, we should see a similar move in comparison to NVAX. NVAX recently had a nice gap breakout. You can see there was a gap breakout right here. I called this out on the live stream today at 87.40. I had members asking me about this. Once it goes above 87.40, it's going to explode up to start to fill this gap at 94.80. So this is on track to go to 94.80. So for the next play, look for Spotify. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's going to be the overall price action analysis. So in terms of like my short-term, my short-term opportunities, my short-term price action analysis, main watches are going to be NVAX, Spotify for the upcoming gap breakout, and the SPY. That's mainly what I'm interested in. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on BBIG and PROG, but that is going to be the main setups. I'm going to keep a close eye on Snapchat as well. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the overall opportunities in terms of the plays and the setups. So yeah, we just got to wait and see how these stocks react towards their key levels. So I want you to keep the main focus on the SPY, the key levels that I gave you, and then use those key levels in comparison with other stocks in terms of following the overall price direction. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the overall video lesson for tonight. Shout out to all my night owls rocking with me. And this is going to be a crazy day in terms of Thursday, and Friday is going to be even crazier. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm looking forward to seeing how this runs. In terms of, Disney was another phenomenal opportunity. This ran big off of earnings. So in terms of Disney, right now it's at 157, had a nice little gap up. In terms of the overall daily chart on Disney, if you see this key level right here, this is the key level, 155.44. If you see that break down under 155.34, you're going to want to grab a puts. If it breaks out, it's going to run to about 159. That's the key level for Disney. So the top stocks that I'm mainly watching, the top plays that I'm focused on, are going to be Disney, PROG, BBIG, of course the SPY, that's like the number one watch. And along with that, it's going to be Snapchat and Spotify. Those are the main plays. Those are the main opportunities that I'm seeing. So for those of you within Trader Society, I will see you live tomorrow at market open in exactly 6 hours and 13 minutes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you within the next video lesson. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow live at market open for those of you within Trader Society.